You ever notice in movies how when all hope is gone, someone shows up out of nowhere and saves the day? Well, that's not just good storytelling, that's a pattern, a provision pattern. And Paul actually calls it out here in Acts 13. Standing in a synagogue, he runs through Israel's history, and it's one long highlight reel of God showing up on time. This is the good news. Acts 13, 16 through 20. Standing up, Paul motioned with his hand and said, "Fellow Israelites and Gentiles who worship God, listen to me. The God of the people of Israel chose our ancestors. He made the people prosper during their stay in Egypt. With mighty power, he led them out of that country. For about 40 years, he endured their conduct, and some manuscript says he cared for them in the wilderness. And he overthrew 7 nations in Canaan, giving their land to his people as their inheritance. All this took about 450 years. After this, God gave them judges until the time of Samuel the prophet." Paul's sermon here in Pisidian Antioch addresses 2 groups, both the Jews and the Gentiles, and this is a big deal. This is like when churches started integrating in the US and preachers were addressing white and black audiences together. By the way, best estimates say that while racially integrated churches started in the 50s and 60s civil rights movements, today's numbers have topped out at 16%. That means only 4 out of 25 churches is multiracial, defined as being no more than 80% of one racial group. Obviously, there's still work to be done. But back to the context of Paul's speech. This is about Jewish history, God's empirical provision and promise to Israel. We see in verse 17, making the people prosper, leading them out of Egyptian slavery. Verse 18, caring for them in the desert, bearing with their foolishness. Verse 19, he gives them land. And finally, in verse 20, he provides leadership. Provision wasn't the exception, it was the plan. Every now and then, it's a good idea to make a list of God's provision in our lives. How has God provided for you? Please throw some of those ideas in the comments down below. We'd love to see them. We've probably heard the phrase Jehovah Jireh before. We even sing songs about it. And we often think of it as the name of God who provides. And that's not wrong, but there's a step missing. Jireh comes from the Hebrew verb to see. So this is how it works. God sees us and then provides exactly what we need. It's not robotic or cookie cutter. God doesn't have a universal prescription for provision for all of humanity. It's a curated custom provision for each one of us. God doesn't just save, God sustains. Praise Jehovah Jireh, who stands outside of time, but intervenes in human history to both see us and provide for us.